Hello everyone, I'm Lucas. Today, our topic is LSI shares array controller the for the drive location method. We know that HCC servers such as R4900 generation third, we have HDM out of band management chips. The chip can monitor the LSI storage controller and the hard disks managed by it. In this case, under normal circumstances, if the hard disk appears abnormal, then we can use we can check it in HDM. Let's take a look at the page of the hard disk error reporting HDM. This is the page displayed in HDM. When a hard disk reports an error in the HDM main page, you can see a series alarm which are related to the hard disk. We can click on the blue hard disk. It will automatically jump to the hard disk tab and see sensor information. In this tab, you can see the hard disk that reported the error. And in this page, we can see the status and the current readings of the hard disk that reported error, as well as some other related information. The first column also contains the SNOR number, which is consistent with the label on the server hard disk cage. Therefore, if a hard disk failure is seen in the HDM, we can easily locate its not. You can also click location in the action column. If the fault does not affect the location function, the location LED light on the hard disk should be on at this time. This can maximize to ensure that maintenance personnel will not replace the wrong hard disk. However, in some special cases, IGM does not show the hard disk failure, but the operating system reports the hard disk failure information. How to find out which physical hard disk is abnormal at this time? There are some hard disk error in the OS. So let's take a look at the error message of the hard disk in the OS. Okay, this is the error message in the OS. This is a Linux operating system. The system has an IO error message. The device name in the error is SDA, SDB, or SDK, SDC, SDD, and so on. And what are these? Are they physical hard drives? If not, how to find the corresponding physical hard disks? And how to find the faulty physical hard drive? We must figure out what is the information, what is the information is, and what is the relationship between them. And then we will study how to do the disk location. And first, we need to understand the correspondence relationship between physical hard drives, logical drives, and volumes. From the bottom in the PPT, the physical hard disk is the part that we can see and touch. Is a physical part. And many or several physical hard disks are combined and work together according to the read level to directly provide an overall available space for the upper level operating system. The space is called a logical drive. The logical drive is recognized by the operating system. During the recognition process, the OS only scans the space that can be used to store data. It does not care how many physical hard disks that this space consists of. The operating system call it a volume. Therefore, the volume is a storage space seen from the perspective of the operating system. If it is a Linux system, it will generally be recognized as SDA, SDB, etc. If it is a Windows system, it will be recognized as C, D, E, or other drive name. The logic drive is a storage space seen from the perspective of the storage controller, but everyone must know that neither a volume or logical drive can be directly located to a physical hard disk. Usually, um, multiple physical in the hard drives are combined to form a logical drive and serve the operating system as a volume. Therefore, when the operating system reports a hard disk abnormality, if it is a volume error, then we need to find out the physical hard drive that is actual faulty. In addition, the left and the right in this PPT figure a different name of LSI and PMC for logical disks. In daily study and log analysis, you need to know that although the names are different, they are essentially the same. Okay, we have figured out the relationship between hard drive volume and the disks. Then we need to try to locate the faulty physical hard disk. Take the Linux system as an example. In the OS, you can see the logical unit ID corresponding to the logic drive by adding the command smallctl-a and the logical volume name that reported the error. Make a load of this ID value. Now that we have the related information of the error volume, let's take a look at the information of the logic drive. Now we can find now we can use the command store CLI in the virtual disk name show all to check the SCSI and AAID. If this value is consistent with the previous logical unit ID, it means we find its corresponding volume information. Let's take a look at the PDs for VD section. There are three physical hard drives in the output information. The first column is EID and the SLT. EID refers to the enclosure number, usually the hard drive cage, or SAS expander number. SLT is the hard drive slot number. The slot number in the example is 7, 5, and 6. The corresponding slot is 7, 5, and 6, which is marked on the server hard disk cage. Note that this number may not necessarily be displayed in order. Then we find the disk slot. Then we look at the value in the state column, and now all three hard drives show ONLN, which means online. The hard disk is online. If it is faulty or degraded, it means that it needs to be replaced. There are many abbreviated entries in the output information from the above command. Let's take a look at the meaning of this abbreviation so that everyone can understand the information and make a correct judgment. Let's make a brief look at the common abbreviated meaning, and the meaning of each item can be found in the relevant manuals. The figure is a brief description of state abbreviation in the command output. Let's take a look at the meaning of the several states that we often encounter. Okay, this is the table. The table is about the virtual drive status information, the physical hard disk status information. This is a brief abbreviation introduction. The REC means recovery, which means that the logical disk is in the process of data reconstruction. OFLN is offline, which means that the logic disk is offline and cannot be accessed by the operating system. DGRD is degraded, which means that the logic disk is in degraded mode, and some of the physical hard disk are abnormal. The following table is some abbreviations related to the physical hard drive. I have talked about the EID SLT just now, so we don't repeat them. A DID is device ID. It refers to the ID that the device is recognized by the operating system. This ID and the identification number on a server hard disk cage are not corresponding, so please note that. You good and you bad both mean that the hard disk is not configured as an array member. You means unconfigured. You good means that the hard disk is easy to use but not configured. You bad, it means it is an unconfigured bad disk. You'll find that the serial number of the hard disk is not displayed, and we often use the serial number to confirm whether the replaced hard disk is faulty hard disk that actually report an error. What about the serial number? By the command store CLI, controller 0, enclosure all, SR, show all, you can see the serial numbers of all hard disks and the LSI controller with ID 0. Among them, store CLI is the command name, and C0 refers to the first controller. Generally, if the server only has one LSI storage controller installed, the default ID is 0. EO means all enclosure. SO refers to all slots. The show all afterwards is an action, which means to see all information. At this time, we can see the SN of the hard disks. At the first time after replacement, it is recommended to know that if the serial number on the board on the hard drive shell is consistent with the serial number in the system, to make sure that you don't plug out the wrong disk. The store CLI command is only for LSI read card. Okay, that is all for today's introduction. Other contained is for the location of the 40 hard disk and the LSI controller. All in all, application data is the most important, and always pay attention to backup. The 40 disk location must be accurate. The location method must be kept in mind. Thanks for watching. See you next time.